your party is having a fairly torrid time. The cliche would be that you're going to be crushed from both sides, the two main parties, and that does seem to be happening. Do you think, in retrospect, it was a mistake to focus so much on revoking Article 50?
No. The third party, as you said, this is my first experience of doing this, being part of the Liberal Democrats. My fourth general election, always gets squeezed. We are, under the current polling, winning or in second place in 134 seats. And the public have a choice right now. Either you can deliver a blank cheque to Boris Johnson to take us out of the European Union with the hardest of hard Brexits, with us trading on no-deal terms with the European Union from the end of next year, or you can ensure that we have parliamentary arithmetic in a new House of Commons to deliver a people's vote to stop Brexit altogether. That is the stark choice facing people. And in order to deliver the latter, as a starting point, you have got to reduce the number of Conservative MPs in a new House of Commons. And we are in a position to take seats, a substantial number of seats from the Conservatives, particularly in London and in the southern regions, in a way that the Labour Party can't. And this is an opportunity for the public because, yes, we've got an unfair, undemocratic first-past-the-post system, but by tactically voting, you can override this broken system that we've got.
That would make more sense, and if I may say so, be more honourable if the Liberal Democrats were prepared to stand down for pro-Leave, pro-Remain candidates from the Labour Party in other seats. There are two seats I can think of, Penistone near Sheffield and Kensington in London, where if the Liberal Democrat candidate stood down or didn't campaign, a Conservative probably would not win, and a pro-referendum Labour candidate would win. And yet you won't. It's pure tribalism.
No, look, if anyone is seeking to lay that accusation at the door of one of the main parties, I don't think you can do it.
So
to
why,
the Liberal Democrats. Hang on, Andrew, you asked the question. Let me answer it. We have been part of a Remain alliance arrangement with two other political parties, the Green Party and Plaid. We have stood aside for two leading independent Remain candidates, Dominic Grieve and Anna Soubry in Beaconsfield and Broxton. No other one of the main parties.
Not Labour.
Labour were approached through Unite to Remain to discuss whether or not, this is in spite, by the way, of the fact that they claim they are not a Remain party, they are saying they're a Remain and Leave party. They were approached to be part of Remain alliance arrangements and they refused to engage with the process at all.
All right,
but look, but in a way, the nomination papers are in now. It is up to voters what happens. And what I am saying is, if we want to depress the number of Conservative MPs in the new House of Commons, in Tory Lib Dem marginals, where we can take those seats, it is a waste to basically cast your vote for a Labour Party that's got no hope in hell of winning those seats. And
says the Liberal Democrats.
Yes, but and you could say, of course, we'd say that. But looking at the polling, the Labour Party is not in a position to take seats from the Tories. It's trying to defend its seats in the West Midlands, in Yorkshire, in the North East. You're
asking people to vote tactically and to think tactically. So let me ask you about how your party would behave tactically after an election. You no longer say that Joe Swinson is going to be Prime Minister, so you have two people there who could be Prime Minister. You've got Jeremy Corbyn and you've got Boris Johnson. At some point, it's only honest to tell potential Liberal Democrat voters which way you would go.
There are two things about that. Remember, first of all, both the leaders of the main parties have said no coalitions, no arrangements, no alliances, no pacts. So that is completely off the agenda. Joe Swinson is clear, we will not facilitate either Jeremy Corbyn or Boris Johnson becoming the Prime Minister. But hang on just a moment.
So who does become Prime Minister?
Well, in the end, the Queen is the one, ultimately, who will approach...
She can't be Prime Minister.
Hang on just a moment. She approaches somebody to form a government. But I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not in control. Look, remember...
Okay, are you seriously suggesting that after coming third in this election, the Liberal Democrats are going to be in the position of ordering the Conservative Party or the Labour Party to change their leader?
No, that's your proposition. I
can't see what other route there is to a new Prime Minister.
Just a minute. There are loads of imponderables here. We don't usually, after a general election, one of the main parties gets rid of their leader within 48 hours. We don't know which of those it will be.
But you're hoping that happens.
We don't know what is going to be in a Queen's speech. We don't know who the Queen is going to approach to be Prime Minister. So in that context, I can't predict what will happen. But what I do know is that when you have a hung Parliament with a minority government, that minority government doesn't dictate what happens. We have successfully, working on a cross-party basis, stopped Brexit from happening up to now. It was supposed to happen in March, it didn't then. It was supposed to happen in October, it didn't then.
You're going to order one of the other parties to change their leader. It just doesn't seem likely.
No, look, the end of the day, say, for example, you have a situation where Boris Johnson is biggest party but minority government. He will not be in control of what happens in the House of Commons. If he seeks to bring forward his Withdrawal Agreement Act, there will have to be a motion, there will have to be legislation which can be amended from other benches than the government benches to provide for a people's vote. This is the gift that the British people have in their hands over the next 10 days. And if we fail in this, we have a living, breathing example of the kind of politics that will run roughshod over our country. And that is the politics of Donald Trump, who the Prime Minister has long said he's an admirer of, despite the way that he operates. And the similarities between the two are stark.
Before we
That
get on
is
to
what is
Donald
facing
Trump,
us.